Hello guys, FurballTheHammy, your neighborhood friendly hamster is here again for another video. This video will tell you why from the perspective of an endgame player, which is me here, as to why you shouldn't try too hard for endgame as a mid-game player or maybe a late-game player who is considering to enter endgame. So first and foremost, we need to decipher what endgame truly is. Assuming you watch my guides and videos that helps you break past mid-game and into late game, you probably already have 3/4 strong with a tarantula helmet or full tarantula or something along that caliber, with an aspect of the dragons, pigman sword or thick tacticians. If you are still struggling with mid-game and need help, go watch my previous videos, but continue watching on this video first. Okay, so for endgame, you are probably talking about a 50mm Midas, a Reaper Scythe, superior dragon armor, overflux power orb, and along those caliber of items which are worth over 40 million coins. So, with that out of the way, I will tell you why you shouldn't enter endgame, but you should still continue to enter late game if you are still a mid-game player in Hypixel Skyblock. Number 1. Content serves little purpose. Now, outside of the 99.9% of the time you will waste on Hypixel Skyblock daily to enter endgame, you will probably wonder at some point in your lifetime while grinding, I hope this is actually useful. If you ever ask yourself that question, I'll break the truth to you right now. The short answer to that is no. The long answer to that is also probably no. Now, you may also be wondering, where am I pulling these groundless assertions from, right? Well, it's because Jaya Varman, or how do you pronounce that guy's name? I probably butchered it, but he is an admin on the server and he said that the final drops of Slayers will not be necessary items to be used for future content, which essentially means whatever you grind your life on right now will likely not be necessary for future content. However, that being said, it may make future content easier, but it won't be the only possible solution to beat future content. There will likely be new armor sets that will be made to target this new future content that is slightly easier to get than the current final drops of Slayers. Thus, it isn't necessarily all hopeless if you spend your life on this game to get a slight itch for new content. At least there's an advantage, right? Now, I'll tell you why there might not actually be an advantage. There might be some, but maybe not a very significant amount. Now, hopefully so. But knowing how future content will have items geared to helping clear them, and those items will likely be easier to attain than the ungodly 0.05% drop from tier 4 Slayers. Why do I say that? Because you can easily assume that these new items will be easier to get than the 0.05% drop of tier 4 Slayers. If Jaya Varman actually said that tier 4 Slayer drops are not necessary to beat future content, it means that he thinks that future content should not be relied on such ridiculous RNG, which means that likely the future gear to get to beat future content will be easier, and it is quite easy to infer from that, and I think it's a fair inference. And with that, you probably will realize that the initial advantage you have won't last long, and that other players who spend less time than you after the update drops can possibly get to your level with less grinding. However, now let's also not forget that currently in the game, you don't need these 0.05% drop items or even superior dragon armor to even clear any bosses. And granted, while having an overflux power orb does make it easier to face tank a Savan, or to do extra damage to speed up Slayer quests, or maybe you choose to grind the expensive talismans like the Bait Ring, the Hunter Ring for extra damage and more efficiency, it is a benefit I cannot deny, because these talismans and these endgame items do give better stats, which does make grinding marginally better, and I can't deny that benefit. So if you think that that's justified for your time spent, then go ahead by all means. After all, I did it too. Point number 2. Enjoyment. Let's be honest, the only way to attain such mass amounts of money will only be possible through hours upon hours of grinding Slayers, hours upon hours of massacring dragons, or by burning your eyes by staring at the auction house 5 hours a day trying to flip items. Granted, if you are the type of person who enjoys grindy games and you are a prison fanatic, or of any other similar games which requires a huge grind, you probably do enjoy such repetitive actions and processes. And I also have to admit that I am also a sucker for such grindy games, which is why I considered grinding to endgame for Hypixel Skyblock. However, if you are not prepared or have the resilience to spend your life grinding away at this game, not exactly a good thing, it is highly not recommended for you to grind for endgame, as honestly, you will probably hate yourself for it, and you generally have to enjoy grinding at the very least, or be part of the community of Hypixel Skyblock, or the grind will be made a lot more unbearable, to be honest. As the saying goes, if you want to travel fast, travel alone. If you want to travel far, travel together. Being if you are part of the Hypixel Skyblock community, or you have a group of friends in Hypixel Skyblock, let me tell you that it will be a lot easier to grind for endgame in Hypixel Skyblock. Granted, you still need resilience and to never give up, because it is truly a long grind and not everyone may enjoy it. It is rather niche, and thus do consider that if you are considering to go for endgame. Point number 3. Bore. After you complete the game and after you reach endgame, you will likely feel extremely bored, let's be honest. So let's be honest, right? Even if you reach the pinnacle of endgame, collected all 3 final Slayer drops, all talismans, and even every single armor set ranging from the useless armor like sponge armor to perfect 12 or superior, you probably would eventually genuinely become bored of Hypixel Skyblock, to no surprise. I'm not here to honestly tell you guys to stop playing Hypixel Skyblock and to only play Hypixel Skyblock when new content is out. Do not take this in the wrong context, but yeah, if you want to continue grinding, go ahead, I won't stop you. However, this video is for those players who are considering to enter endgame and are not exactly fully sure of that decision. So, I'll be honest with you, there are plenty of other things to do in Hypixel Skyblock. You will get boring if you just focus on money, or maybe you are the kind of person who enjoys getting more and more wealth, and maybe you see value in that, right? So if you are the kind of person, continue grinding for endgame, I guess. However, there are a lot of people who find Skyblock boring, and the crux of this problem lies in the fact that Skyblock players focuses a lot on money and materialistic items like wealth or exclusive items. Let us take for example, people paying 8 to 10 million coins for just a rideable skeleton pet with no benefit whatsoever during the spooky festival. This created a material and as you can see from that example, Hypixel Skyblock is generally a materialistic and an economy-centered culture, which isn't exactly bad for an MMORPG like Hypixel Skyblock, but it does block out the many things that you may have considered to do in Hypixel Skyblock to enhance your gaming experience. And because of this materialistic and an economy-centered culture, you may not consider other options outside of just grinding for more money, more items, and more wealth. Perhaps consider maxing out a skill like alchemy and splash others and yourself. Everyone wins, right? Or perhaps consider building a beautiful island. I mean, that's where Skyblock was born from, right? And also, don't forget that Hypixel Skyblock is a community of active players. It is an MMORPG after all. Maybe consider making friends on a Discord server instead of just grinding for coins. Sometimes it helps to slow down your pace and to switch off the economical and business perspectives which most of us Skyblock players have been shaped to become. And honestly, I don't regret entering endgame for Hypixel Skyblock. But perhaps consider to actually take a sniff of the flowers and the beauty this game actually is, having brought us together as a community, to suffer through this experience where we devote our lives to the Hypixel gods to enhance further in the game with better gear, or to strategize together as a team, to progress quickly, or to even work together on a stunning building project. We may sometimes forget about the purpose of playing Skyblock, where we are stuck in this loop of materialism of wanting more and more. It isn't inherently wrong, but I would just like to say that there are many more things to do in Skyblock than you actually think there is because of this economical mindset. Perhaps there is something waiting for you around the corner that's different from just more wealth, but perhaps you were too fast and focused on money that you missed it. Ultimately, Skyblock is just a game, and you can do whatever your heart desires. There is no need to focus on money. It's not necessarily wrong to focus on money. Some people do, and some people do enjoy it. And if you are one of those, continue doing what you enjoy. I'm not here to downplay your love and interest, but to help those who are bored of late game and dislike grinding more. Instead of flaming the developers, perhaps consider smelling the roses and to appreciate the beauty this game is currently and has become to bring us as a community together, and to also have brought up my passion of starting a YouTube channel. Perhaps consider doing something other than just for grinding more wealth if you do find Hypixel Skyblock boring. Calm down and just do what you genuinely enjoy. Everyone has its flaws, and this game has some too. And with that, I have said my piece. FurballTheHammy, signing out.